there, it's Lena Gersa from Ala Cards. Today I have a tutorial for you on how to create this beautiful Christmas card. Now for this project I used a gorgeous new stamp from the upcoming holiday catalog called Dove of Peace. Now look at how beautiful that image is. Oh, it's just stunning. Now a couple of words about this set. This particular stamp set or stamp comes as one single stamp. Okay, when you get it, it comes as one piece of rubber and one wooden block. Now, whenever I get stamps that have an image and a sentiment, I always separate them. I find them much more versatile that way, and they're easier to use. So what I did is I cut the sentiment off of the image. I mounted the image on the block that was provided in the stamp set, and there's my sticker. You'll see I've trimmed off the sentiment. And then I had an extra block kicking around, so I mounted my sentiment onto that extra block and adhered the rest of my sticker. And that will give me much more flexibility in terms of how I use those stamps. All right, now let's get to our project. So I'm going to show you how to create this background image and how to get that very faded, soft, almost dreamlike image of the bird, of the dove. Okay, so let's get started. For this project, I am starting with a piece of Whisper White cardstock that is 4 inches wide by 5 1/4 inches tall. And I'm doing a monochromatic look. So I'm using shades of blue. All right, so the first shade I'm going to start with is Pool Party. And I'm going to take my dauber and I'm going to apply some Pool Party ink to my cardstock. Now, you'll notice I am not starting right smack in the middle. That's on purpose. I just like the look of it being offset a little bit. All right, so there's my Pool Party. I'm going to come back to that in a minute or two, so I'm just going to set it aside over here. The next color I'm going to use is Island Indigo. Okay, so we're getting a little bit darker. And now I'm going to apply some Island Indigo ink and I'm going to overlap the Pool Party areas. Not completely, but I just want those edges to sort of blend. I don't want to see a stark outline where one color begins and the other one ends. My indigo ink pad is getting a little bit dry. Okay, so I'm going to pull that color, try and put down as much color as I possibly can. Now I'm going to finish, well not finish, my next color is going to be Night of Navy, so very dark, dark navy blue. Again, I'm going to pick up some ink and I'm going to put lots of that navy ink down. Okay, I'm overlapping the edges of my Island Indigo so that they blend together. And I can't really see where one color starts and the other one ends. Pulling that color right around, filling in all of that white space with the navy ink. Now I've got a little nub on my dauber here. I'm going to tear that off. Daubers are not built to last forever. They do need to be replaced. They do wear out, and this one is just about done. But I think I can get the rest of this project out of it, so we'll just keep going. All right, so there's my navy. Just going to pull a little bit down in here along the side. Now, before I do any stamping, I'm still going to go back now with my lightest shade, the Pool Party, and I want to take and blend all of those colors together. So I'm essentially going to sponge the entire surface, starting in the middle where I started with that Pool Party ink, and I'm going to work out from there. And what that's going to do is just pull all of those shades together and blend them nicely. Again, I don't want it to be really obvious where one color starts and the next one ends. Okay, there we go. Look at that beautifully sponged panel. Easy peasy. Now comes the magic. So we're going to take our dove stamp, and instead of using bleach, which is a technique that you may have seen, we're going to use a secret ingredient that every good crafter has in their stamp room, and that is Stampin Mist. Now, if you don't own Stampin Mist, you need to. It is a great way to clean and condition your stamps, but you can also do some really neat techniques with it. Now, this particular bottle of Stampin Mist is as old as the hills. It's been refilled about a zillion times. You can barely even read the label, but it is a great tool, and it's something that no crafter should be without. All right, now to do this technique, I need to mist spritz my stamp using the Stampin Mist. I'm not going to do it over my work area here on camera because I don't want to get mist and have a wet work area. So I'm going to move over to the side. You'll hear me spritz. I'll probably spritz 3 or 4 times. Okay, and there is my rather moist stamp. Okay, my fingers are wet too. Now I'm going to take and place that onto my sponge panel. And I'm going to let that sit there for, I don't know, 15-20 seconds, and that's just to give a chance for that moisture of the mist to really get into the paper. Okay, and when I take it off, you can already start to see that image. Look at how beautiful. Now we're going to accelerate the drying process here a little bit just with the heat tool, and that'll just dry up that mist and have that image really pop. So here we go. Now, isn't that beautiful? I love this image. The artwork is just stunning, and done with this technique, it just, oh, love it, love it, love it, love it. So I'm going to bring in the finished project again and just show you how I finished it off. So you'll see I added some spatters. Now, this is done with my go-to stamp set called Gorgeous Grunge. If you do not yet own this stamp set, you need to own it very soon. It is the Mistake Fixer. It is the, what do I need to add? It needs a little something. It needs a little touch of spatter from this stamp set. So for this project, I used the smallest spatters, and I stamped it several times, just sort of around the edges, using Versamark ink. And then I heat embossed in silver, and it almost looks like stars behind the dove. I just love that look. I also took my sentiment stamp, so the sentiment that I cut off of the image, if you recall, I took that stamp and stamped it in the lower left corner and heat embossed it in silver as well. And that's it. It's a very simple card, but because the technique gives such a wow, there's no embellishment really required. So all I did is I took my panel and I mounted it on a pool party mat. It is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, and then I mounted that on a Night of Navy card base. And that's all there is to it. A beautiful, beautiful card that really is very simple but has a real wow factor. So I would encourage you to try this technique. I have another video that shows this technique using fall colors if you want to try it using doing a fall project. So be sure to check that one out and give it a try. You will love your results. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.